we got the Corsair K65 Plus, this beautiful looking keyboard we got for sale. It was only $129.99 USD, so I had to pick it up. And if you're interested in seeing where I picked it up, I do have it down in the description box down below. This is going to be an unboxing and a review on the Corsair K65 Plus. Not only compatible with PC, but it's also compatible with Mac OS, so you can also take it with you on the go for that. Want to see how well it also works with the Asus ROG Ally. One of the best parts about this keyboard so far that I can tell you is that the keys are swappable. Without further ado, let's open this up and take a look at this wonderful keyboard. It comes with a USB-A to USB-C cable. It also comes with this keys remover. This is going to be useful if you want to swap out the switches and everything for your keyboard. We finally got the actual keyboard themselves. They encased it pretty well with this kind of plastic piece. Originally, I thought this was kind of a cover for it, but it doesn't look like it has some sort of case for that. Here is the actual keyboard in all of its glory, so you can take a look on how it looks. This color, it doesn't look too bad. Personally, it's not one of my top favorite colors. I'm not a big fan of this grayish black color, but it might grow on me. I could be wrong. I might end up really loving the color, but we'll see in due time. There is some on the back of the keyboard. It does have the wireless switches. You can switch it from RF connectivity, or you can switch it to the Bluetooth connectivity. It also has a Windows and Mac switch on the back of the keyboard, which I will test to see how well that works out. And it also has a USB receiver too on the back of it. They're really quiet actually when you press on it, as you can hear. Pretty silent. Set on a top mount plate, so the keys sit pretty high, so that way it gives you more travel when you are typing on this keyboard. It does have 2 layers of sound dampening in here. Even though they are Cherry MLX keys, it is still silent when you are typing, so you don't have to worry about waking up any of your loved ones in the room if you are worried about that, because that is one wrath that nobody wants to face. So let's talk more about this keyboard. This keyboard does have 75% of the size, so it gives you more room if you want to be able to use your mouse right next to it. So no more clanking with the mouse, because we all know how pretty annoying that can get, especially when you are gaming, or if you're doing some sort of content creation, some sort of type of work, if you're working in Premiere. It does have a PC board inside of this keyboard to where it's secured with the stab, so that way there isn't a lot of movement inside. So everything's secured really well inside of this keyboard. But let me just show you how easy it is to remove the keys. If you were to replace, say, the W, you'd easily just put that in there and just pull it out. Squeeze that together, and that pulls the key out, and then you're able to swap out the key. This also is very useful if you want to clean out your keyboard, if it gets a lot of dust and hair. This can be very useful instead of trying to pluck the keys off. Now, battery life, it supposedly has up to 265 hours, and we'll see if it holds true to that. So when you do charge up the device, there's going to be a lighting indicator on the side of the keyboard to let you know how well it's charged up. And because it is brand new, we're going to let it charge up full before usage. And you can see that steady green light, just to let a good indicator to let you know how fully charged it is or not. Also has a little LED indicator on here on the side, but that's more for the RGBs, I believe, when you are using the actual keyboard then. Fam guys, I tried out the Corsair K65 Plus, and I've given it plenty of hours and plenty of time of use to give you a really good indication if the Corsair K65 Plus could be the keyboard that you're looking for. Now, first and foremost, I gotta say, it is really comfortable to touch this keyboard. It feels like a premium plastic. It almost has this pretty decent look, to where I have to say decent because it has this grayish, blackish look for the keyboard. Preferably, I think it would look so much better in white, because then the lighting effects will look even better. The RGBs would look wonderful on a white keyboard. The sound dampening has been really noticeable. You don't really hear the keys at all when you're typing. I mean, you barely could hear it. These are red MX keys that Corsair has provided. I gotta say, when you are gaming on this keyboard, it feels wonderful. It takes up much less desk space, gives you 75% more room, and it gives you much more freedom when it comes to using your mouse. When you are gaming, especially when you're in competitive shooters, it can get pretty annoying when you hit that mouse up against the keyboard. The Corsair K65 Plus does not do that, and it does give you the options to program different macros, different keys, even open up different programs with specific key sets that you choose to in iCUE, which I will show you in a little bit. But anyway, to get to the point, I do love the fact that they give you this knob adjuster because it works excellent. It doesn't give any type of drag. They gave a lot of thought when it came to the design of the K65 Plus. Even the back of the keyboard looks quite impressive. Now it's really easy to set up different lighting effects, are all set up on the numerical pad up on the top of the keyboard just by hitting the function key and hitting whichever number you choose of your lighting effect. Now the best part is this keyboard is super nice and light, and just take a look at how gorgeous it does look when it comes to Corsair's RGBs. When you hook it up to, say, an ASUS ROG Ally, it's really easy. They do have the Bluetooth keys here on the keyboard itself in order for you to select which Bluetooth pairing device that you have. For me, currently I have my Bluetooth 1 device set for my MacBook Pro, and I have my ASUS ROG Ally set for Bluetooth 2. You can hook up to 3 Bluetooth devices really easily with the K65 Plus, and then on top of it, it does have a radio frequency adapter that does come with it. And unfortunately, it is not slipstream wireless. In order for you to use this keyboard properly, please remember to switch the keyboard if you are switching it to a Mac OS device, because otherwise it will not function correctly. And the same goes for Windows. If it is in Mac mode, the keys will not be working properly. When it comes to Mac and Windows, their keys are always backwards, so it's important to hit that switch over in the correct position. Now, if you don't have other Corsair products and this is your first one, well, you have to download iCUE for the full compatibility with the product. So whether you have Windows or Mac OS, you could easily download iCUE off of the website. Just go to downloads here, and you're just gonna click iCUE, whether if it's for Windows or Mac OS. This is recognized already because I have iCUE already installed, but more than likely it's not gonna pop up this smoothly. You're gonna have to hook it up via USB-C to USB-A to your PC or your Mac OS, and then it will be recognized. Once it does, then you can hook it up wirelessly, whether if you want to hook it up via Bluetooth or you want to hook it up RF adapter. From here, you can go to your device settings. Now, wirelessly, you will not be able to access polling rate options. You can put certain settings such as show a battery gauge, notifications, you can put sleep parameters if you want to, and you can put your current layout for your keyboard. Set up macros if you want to do a control copy, just say, and for that, you can hit a specific key on your keyboard that you would like to use, just say 1. And now when you go into here, you can easily hit 1 and it should copy it. And there you go. So it's really nice and simple to program a lot of the keys. Now you can set them however, but if you have iCUE closed, or if you're programming it, say if you have both a Windows and a Mac OS, just make sure that you have iCUE on both of those PCs, because this does not have any hardware profiles on this keyboard. Performance wise, you can set certain keys. You could choose to disable the Windows key if you'd like. And the control dial, it works very well, but I do gotta say that the control dial is not really truly customizable. When it comes to gaming and response time, it works excellent. I haven't had any issues using the K65 Plus. I love the fact that it doesn't really take up that much desk space, and it gives me much more comfortability when I am gaming. Personally, to me, I don't mind not having the wrist pad, because if you're sitting in your desk properly, you're not really gonna need it. Technically, the wrist pad will affect you sitting ergonomically. Now, for those who do care of having a little bit more cushion instead of resting your wrist on the table, I can perfectly understand. This does not come with the wrist pad, but then again, it does come with some premium hardware that they do give you. Now, the switches are easy enough to switch up. It's a 5-point switch on the mechanical switches here, compared to a 3-point switch, say on the K70 Pro mini keyboard. Notice this keyboard does work excellent when it comes to the ASUS ROG Ally. It works perfectly, no issues there. And the same thing for Mac. Now, the one drawback that I do have to say is the keyboard doesn't really respond too well when it comes to the whole vertical scrolling, whether on Windows or Mac OS. And second, when it comes to using it on the Mac OS, it doesn't really respond well when it comes if you are trying to use the Finder button on here, because I've noticed when you do use the Finder, it kind of draws up the HTML coding instead, or the JavaScript when you are in a browser instead of bringing up the Finder. Battery-wise, now when the Corsair lighting is off, just like this, the battery can last you good 160 hours before it actually starts to die down, with 300 hours of standby time on top of using this keyboard. Now, if you are using the RGBs on the keyboard and it's lit up just like a Christmas tree, just like this, and you just want to game on the cool RGBs, it's going to last half of that. You'll actually a little bit more than half. It lasts about 60 hours if you do have the RGBs on using the K65 Plus keyboard. You're more than likely gonna charge it each week, but 60 hours is still plenty of usage, especially using it wireless. This is not really a big complaint of mine. My biggest complaint is when it comes to the whole iCUE software, and that is something Corsair really does need to address because it's become a abomination of what it used to be.
What we do.
Best part about this keyboard is it doesn't really give you any type of smudging. It's not like a glossy keyboard where you can see your fingerprints all over it. It's more of a matte keyboard, so when you are touching it, it has that flat matte feel, so you don't have to worry about your fingerprints being all over the place. And the portability of it, it's really nice. So you just flip these down, and then you can just put the USB device, if you're gonna hook it up via RF adapter, right in there, so you can easily bring it with you. Corsair does give you an awesome key remover tool if you choose to change out your mechanical switches. Now, on the negative side of the Corsair K65 Plus, I do have to say that I do not like that it has less mouse functions compared to the K70 Pro mini keyboard, because that's what I loved about it. It just had so many different shortcuts that were very useful, to where you can use from RGBs to using it even as a mouse. Fortunately, with the K65 Plus, it does not have the ability to do that. Sure, you can do some scrolling, but that is the limit. You cannot be able to right click or left click, especially for those who are using it on, say, a Asus ROG Ally and does not want to carry a mouse with them. For some of you, that may not matter, but personally to me, I feel like that is a function that could have been added, especially if, say, your mouse is dead and you want to be able to use your keyboard as a mouse. This is just a really nice feature that Corsair had before on the K70 Pro mini keyboard. Another negative thing I do have to say is that you cannot be able to change the control knob on the K65 Plus. The knob is an awesome feature on the keyboard, so why not have the ability to be able to reprogram the knob to be able to do what you want it to do, to give it a macro, or to give it something that you can use even for editing. You could use it for scrolling on editing, which would be really nice on something like Premiere Pro. Come on, guys at Corsair, you can do a little bit better than this. And again, this has to do more with the iCUE software. This could easily be updated if they choose to update that, but then again, they're probably more than likely afraid to change the options when it comes for the control wheel, because again, to change the control functions on the wheel, it's all on this arrow key. Third negative thing I do have to say is that it does not come with a wrist pad. Even though I personally don't mind it, it should have came with a wrist pad, because it is a premium product that you do purchase from Corsair. At least come with a wrist pad instead of spending another $30 or $40. Another thing that really does bother me about the K65 Plus is, why does it not have hardware profiles? What happened, Corsair? That is a big benefit, especially for those who are on the go. You may not want to have iCUE on your Mac OS. You may not want to have iCUE on your Asus ROG Ally, because that's pretty annoying. Who wants to have Corsair's iCUE on their Ally? I do have to complain about is the fact that the USB device that it does come with this keyboard is not slipstream wireless, which doesn't make sense. This is something that is a big benefit when you are using Corsair. Some people purchase strictly Corsair products because of their slipstream wireless technology, which this keyboard does not have. So if you want that out of this keyboard, Unfortunately, you do not get that feature. What do I really give this keyboard? I gotta give it a 7.5 out of 10 because it's a great keyboard. Don't get me wrong. It's a wonderful keyboard. The color's okay. It kind of looks like they hurried up, put it through a 3D printer, printed out these keys real quick and kind of sent it out. But then again, they did put out a lot of thoughts when it came to this design. It is a wonderful design and a great beginning when it comes to Corsair. And the reason why I say beginning, because iCUE isn't the greatest program that is currently out there. It does have its issues, which really bothers everybody who purchases Corsair products. But anyway, to get to the point, it could be a much better device if it had those different capabilities. This is why I gotta give the K65 Plus a 7.5 out of 10. So fan guys, I hope you found this content very useful. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you know anybody else who is looking for a wireless keyboard for their device, make sure you share this video with them. And also, if you're not part of the Big Wonderful fan band, make sure you go down and hit the subscribe button for more. And don't forget to hit the notification bell for more. And for all the newest updates, make sure you follow my X handle right here, as it is the same as my TikTok and IG as well. Fan guys, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Chris Mizo, signing out.